how'd you hide it? Because if somebody happened upon it, they might want to partake. You know what I'm saying?
That's happened before. So again, as a young kid, I learned diversification. Right? Instead of one patch, you gotta have at least three because you're gonna get one by the cops, you're gonna get one by theft, and then you might be lucky and be able to keep one yourself. But yeah, I used to hike water bottles, jugs of water up the side of hill banks. I had trails that I would, as I left, I would brush back, so people couldn't really see them. I mean, and there's a lot of trails going through brushes for animals too. So that was always, that's the other thing, the animals. You get some deer stone on the side of a mountain by chewing on your plants too. But so all you you grow in areas that have lots of food for the native animals, therefore they don't really want the cannabis, but if it's the only green thing around, they're going to want that because there's water in it, right? So I learned that as a young age too. Diversify and find your niche where it's at.
And they hear about the soil and the organic. There's been that thought for years, as far as like, you know, something certified organic, but what does that actually mean? What can a person do? Like, what can a person that's listening right now, what can they do that would help?
Love this question. Love this question. Okay, so let's talk about food. Okay, even organic food that makes it. Let's talk about a melon. It's melon time out in Arizona. So you're seeing melons starting to come through the grocery store in Southern California and everywhere else. First off, you need to know what season it is. If you see a melon in San Diego, Southern California, Arizona in the middle of January, it's shipped from somewhere. Okay, so we're going to go back on that in a second. But so when we're talking about nutrient dense food, the density, the nutrients, as soon if I take that melon and I cut it off the vine and I stick it on I stick it in a truck and I stick it on a barge and I send it all the way over to you, and you get it 45 days to 60 days after that. The value of nutrients is barely anything in. The nutrients deplete immediately when the plant is cut for harvest. Super important because now when you're going through your grocery store, you kind of want to look at local seasoning if you're looking for nutrient dense food to feed your microbiome and start feeding your health. You want to go seasonally into your zone. But even more so, to answer your question is get to know your farmer.
We all would love to be able to do the right thing, right? And then there's the side of convenience. And there's the side of like, hey, I've got 2 kids, I've got 15 minutes. It's in between soccer practice and whatever. I got to head to the store and I got to get some vegetables quick. I don't have time to wait for the farmer's market. How can we get through that challenge?
So, great. This is awesome questions. Nobody talks like I love this actually. So here's the solution: you find your local farmer. Right. First, you find your local farmer that is producing really. If you go up to the farmer's market and you're going through and you find, oh yeah, I grew this food, then you just ask them, do you guys, what type of biology and fungal do you have in your soil? What are you growing with? You'll either have a conventional farmer that uses synthetic that won't be able to answer the question and start looking towards the next person because he doesn't have answers, or you'll find a guy like me that'll all of a sudden start doing backflips because you're asking these type of questions. That's your farmer when you got a guy like me doing backflips. And most likely he has farm boxes. So this is what I do. I go to Rhino Farms, used to be Reba Farms out in Queen Creek, regenerative farmer. Love this guy. He's built an oasis, a jungle oasis out in the middle of the desert, with banana trees, with everything. His food is so awesome. And so I get 2 farm boxes every week. I order 2 farm boxes and I pick them up on Saturday. Everything at the end of the week that's left over in my refrigerator from the farm boxes, which is a lot, I put into my Instapot with some rice and some chicken, anything I got left over for the week in the fridge. And I cook that down and I make dog food for my dogs, nutrient dense dog food for my dogs. I'll add it as a topper to their food when I give it to them, or feed them direct, depending on how much that I have, because the food that your animals get is not nutrient dense at all. It's the complete opposite of that. So now I'm adding value back into my animals and I'm getting rid of the waste without wasting. Super easy process. So yes, you don't have to go. Every once in a while, you're going to be late. You got soccer kids. You're going to be doing this. But we talk about patterns a lot, Kelly, and breaking patterns. There's something super sexy about breaking patterns and coming up with ones like this. This stuff feels good when you are making a dinner like this for your family. It feels good as a parent to be able to feed this type of stuff to your family, when you're thinking about it consciously. And then all of a sudden, you're not going out for fast food, 5 times a week. You're going out twice a week. And then your conscious is starting to work. Do I really want that dead food that has absolutely no value? Or maybe I can just throw something together really quick in the kitchen before it all goes to dog food at the end.
What's the solution too? Because let's go back to the farmer part, right? So with the farmer part, you were talking about a $500 fee that they would have to be able to test the soil. They've already got a broker telling them they're going to make 50 cents or whatever it is. So they're constricted. How can we solve that challenge?
Your solution to that is easy. So I use things like, I have concepts with fertilization of using biology. I can convert 1,000 acres of farmland that was grown industrial style synthetic uh, cultivation that's depleted, and I can bring back that nutrient into those 1,000 acres, no problem. It take a couple cycles, a couple years to really bring it back, but I can bring it back. It's not with big root soil; it's with other products and easier. I can do a lot. Like it's like you have water issues, right? You don't have enough water for your crops. I could drop that down to 10% for you within 2 years, no problem. Less than 2 years. It's a whole different types of regenerative cultivation and farming practices, and it's scary for these big farmers across the world to adapt into it. But now with the cost of synthetic fertilizer, the pricing is so high they aren't, again, the farmer's not making any money because the broker's stealing it all and the stores are making all the money, and the farmer, his cost of fertilizer has gone up, but his price per melon is going down. It's broken system, right? So it almost feels like we're trying to put our farmers out of business across the country so we can start supplying food from all these other third world countries.
Is there any like is there any negative side to it at all as far as the cannabis world?
Totally. Yeah, I mean, the children. There's lots. First of all, there has to be campaigns, and I tried to bring to the high schools campaigns because all these kids are smoking vape pens at the school, and educate children to the. I mean, it's already proven that you're you're not you're not, your brain is still developing until you're in your early 20s. So kids in cannabis is not a good thing. Kids in any drugs is really not a good thing, but it goes with cannabis as well. And unfortunately, it's selected a cool thing with kids now. So that's a problem to address. How to address that? The other side isn't willing to talk about it. They just want it. When you tell a child no, you can't do something, what is a child going to do? You need to have a corrective. Maybe I was trying to produce a campaign where they had shirts that were cool shirts that had slogans on them. It's like, I forget what the slogans. We had some really good ones. Not like just say no, but it was some cool stuff, right? A campaign and a thing to talk about in the auditorium with the children and get them hyped on this, because a child under peer pressure is going to, if you're in a high school and you're in a car with, let's say 5 or 6 people, and that you've never smoked weed before and you're in the middle in the back seat, that kid is peer pressured into smoking that whether he wants to or not, because he's going to be, all these names are going to come, they're going to tease him forever, right? So what ammunition can you give those kids, right? You got to make their stance cooler than the stance of the peer pressure. Giving them the ultimatum of saying, no, I don't do it, doesn't work. Okay. Showing them, you know what, man, I've seen this, slogan. We talk about this. We educate, I represent this on my shirt, right? Like, I don't need that stuff. Like, you guys can have that. We can still be friends. And it's already past that point. Give the kids ammunition to say no and a cool way to deliver. Seriously. And that's the campaign. But the other side, the school districts And most law enforcement and cities are so afraid of that because they act like they're embracing it, and really, what is the school districts really doing for our children anyways? Like, that's a whole nother show and segment at this point.
So, what advice would you have for Maddox and McKenna? And if you could use both their names, it would be awesome.
Well, to Maddox and McKenna. McKenna? Is that what your name? So Maddox, and what good names, Maddox. First off, man, you're the name like Maddox. Like, how can you go wrong there? Embrace that. McKenna, come on. Like, so I would say the advice is clear as day. You have so much attention from direction from all these adults coming at you, trying to lay out your path, right? If learn how to understand and feel your soul through your gut, and your gut is going to deliver. God's going to work right through your heart, and he's going to deliver the feelings of action and what direction to move that into. And so embrace your inner being, embrace your inner spirit, embrace the Holy Spirit within you. And when you question your authority, whatever it's coming in or a direction, it might not be the best way for you to go, but you're going to feel it inside because God's going to have that relationship with you, and you're going to feel it. The relief, it's going to come off your shoulders. Yeah, this is a really good way to go. This is a really good direction in life to head to. Versus if you're feeling all like, oh, I don't really like that. It doesn't really feel that good. Like, I don't know. I'm just going to do it because dad or uncle says I should go there. The teacher said I should go this direction. Man, question the authority on that. Feel it, right? Have that relationship with God and that communication with him. And he'll let you know. He'll let you know. So that would be a good one. It's just question everything, and then come up with a good relationship. Feel the answers inside you, and then talk to your parents about that. You got a great father right here, so he understands that.